It's hard to believe, actually, 20 years ago that if a building collapsed in the United States, we did not have the ability to do a full-scale investigation like we do for every plane crash in America. So back then, right after 9/11, several family members, most notably Sally Reaganhard, who lost her probationary firefighter son that day, gathered together to create a new organization called Skyscraper Safety, the Skyscraper Safety Campaign, which led to a push for a federal inquiry and actually led to the law that created the National Construction Safety Team, the group that is now down there in Florida to do the work. So it's really a legacy of 9/11 that something that came out of 9/11 that's going to benefit the family members down in Florida. You know, the National Construction Safety Team, which is on site now, going to be looking at a lot of things. Certainly that report you just mentioned. The video is incredibly important, I believe, for the investigation because it shows the sequence of how the structure fell. They're going to look through every single document that exists. They're actually going to collect evidence, of course, to see if the specifications are met in terms of the concrete, the steel, the reinforcing bars, all those kind of things. Everything will be on the plate to basically be looked at and to be thoroughly analyzed. And of course, at the end of the day, the construction safety teams will come up with the likely hypothesis of how this building collapsed, and more importantly, even particularly for the family members, is what recommendations will they make to prevent this from happening again in the future. Certainly, the report highlights a specific problem there at the site, and apparently other areas around there along the shore. It's certainly something that needs to be looked at. I mean, buildings do settle, right? They settle into the ground. The question is how much, and is it all uniform? Does part of the building does part of the building settle more than another, which can create problems structurally? So all these kind of things are definitely going to be looked at in that report. And we might find even more reports, other indicators that will help us pinpoint exactly what happened here. That's probably the case here. And again, what's also important is the sequence of the collapse. So you'll notice that one area of the building starts to collapse before the other area does. So that's going to help sort of pinpoint where things were happening. And of course, at least in my estimation, we won't know for a while because the information that we need in terms of the evidence left behind is going to be at the bottom of the pile, unfortunately. And that's where I think we'll find real indicators of what happened here once the rescue and recovery efforts have been completed. Remember that this is a very large building compared to things, for example, that were in Haiti. This is a 13-story building that, as you mentioned, pancakes. So basically, the floors all came down as a stack onto the ground. That is incredible. That amount of material and the size is incredibly difficult to access. Of course, the pile is unstable, as we've heard many times, and so this is an effort in trying to find the most likely places where there might be survivors in that pile, unfortunately. And again, at the end of the day, these are the teams that we've relied on for decades now. These are well-experienced people who are really on top of this and attempting to find the loved ones, of course, that people are looking for. So unfortunately, like I said, this is going to take some time to do this. It's just a massive effort, but it's done in a way that's methodical and again, trying to make sure that if there are survivors, they don't injure or kill them in the process of trying to remove this material. So it's an incredibly difficult situation. I'm hoping that, of course, that we'll find some survivors, but as time goes on, as we know, it's less likely at this point. So